Hello everybody, I'm the Duke of Minecraft and welcome back to another Minecraft video. We are here today taking a look at the swapping room, and I'm going to be making a tutorial on this today and showing you guys how to build one of your own for this two-room swapping version. I've counted out most of the resources in it, and I haven't counted them exactly for some of them, like just blocks and redstone. But you're going to need most of this stuff here. You're going to need 64 pistons plus 3, 8 stickies, 13 repeaters, 4 comparators, some torches, slime blocks, trapdoors, a cauldron with the water buckets, a bunch of blocks, some redstone, and 6 blocks of redstone. And then you're going to need like 6 observers and maybe a few other bits and bobs, like some half slabs, although those shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Oh, did I say slime blocks? Because you need 9 slime blocks and like an immovable block and, you know, some other stuff. But all that stuff should be fairly easy to acquire in survival. The dimensions of this thing are 14 wide and 15 long, and then it is 22 tall. And if you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks, this is the block that the floor of the room that swaps around is on. So if you haven't seen the showcase video and the explanation video, I'll have a link to that on the screen right now and also in the description, where I show off this room and a decorated version that's over there and explain how it works. But this video is the tutorial, so let's get started with that already. Okay, so we're going to start with the floor level of the swapping room. So right here is going to be the platform that we hit the button from, and that's what's going to rotate the room around. So right here on the platform we're going to have a button to press, and then we're going to have some redstone here because trapdoors are going to come up along the wall right here as the blocks swap upwards this way, over, down, left, and then up again. And then the room insides are basically going to be in this area here. So try to visualize where that's going to be. So if you were going to have the hole, you would dig it out along here and 8 blocks down. So first things first, I want to set up the clock and then the conveyors for the swapping room, because if I was going to build this in survival, this is the order I would do it in. So first we want to put a redstone dot, 2 repeaters on full delay there, going down into a dot here with a repeater here on full delay, and then 1 more over here on full delay, and then this goes into a sticky piston with a redstone block on it. And then on this we have a dot of redstone. So this is basically just to add a bunch of delay to the signal while it goes down, and then activates this, which is going to become a monostable, or a pulse shortener, basically. So this lets out a 2-tick pulse, and this is going to be the clock right here. So we need a bit of redstone like this. We're going to have a repeater going into a block here on 2 ticks of delay, a redstone dust there into the side of a block, and then this is gonna take the redstone signal out from there. These 2 repeaters, all of these are on 2 ticks, all the repeaters here are on 2 ticks, and then this goes into a block. So this is going to be the clock right here. When we power this will keep going around forever, and then we just need to add a piston out the back, which is going to pull away the block when we want to turn off the clock. So we're going to have redstone up here, and when we want the clock to go off, we just activate that redstone and it'll pull away the block, and the redstone clock will stop. So yeah, this is basically the clock system. It's not pretty. Probably not as compact as it could possibly be, but it doesn't really need to be, because there's a bunch of other components going on that, you know, take up the space. So there's just some open space and whatnot, but it works and it's not bad. So we're going to go with it. And then Out the back here is the first little conveyor pusher wall thingamabob for the blocks. So we put 8 pistons down, and we want it to be centered on the entranceway for the room. So we got 4 that side, 4 that side, so it's all good. And these need to push blocks up 12 high. So what we're going to be making next is basically the conveyor system. So we're going to have pistons there, pistons here, here, and here, and this is basically just going to rotate the blocks in a big rectangular like loop. So what I would recommend is just building one continuous line of blocks first before you fill in the whole wall with all the blocks. And I would recommend decorating the room last, just so you make sure everything's rotating around properly before you decorate it, because then you could have something break and you'll have to just redo all the decorations. So yeah, you want this to push 12 blocks, so you can keep adding blocks until you know it's pushed its limit, and then you just go up to where the block got pushed to at the end, and then that's where the next piston's going to go. So how we power the pistons up here is actually pretty neat, I think. So we're going to take an observer and face it away from the blocks. Well, we face it into the block, and the signal is going to come out the back here. And this is going to be what powers the row of pistons here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should be lined up with the ones at the bottom. So when this detects a input from the blocks, it's going to send a signal up here and power these pistons. So when we push blocks up here, you'll see that's going to activate. So it's going to push them over basically like right as they get there. So then we need to go 8 over from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because that's the dimensions of the room, 8 by 8. So this is actually going to be the ceiling, corner area of the room here. Like these blocks are going to be the ceiling of the room. So we go over here now, put some pistons downwards. Just keep the conveyor going basically. 8 of them looks like, okay. Then we get an observer, point it upwards into this here, and put some redstone on there. All good. So when this activates, when it detects the blocks moving by, it's just going to push them down. And then we go down to the bottom here, all the way down. And we need to go right at this level and put pistons in to push the blocks back to the starting point. So we can put an observer here, block out the side, and just do like something like this. Just put redstone on top of all of these. And you know, when this detects the block moving, it's going to push this all the way over here and go back to the start. So if you just put like a little signal through here, you'll see this is going to start cycling the blocks. Then all we have to do is control when we want it to turn off, and we can swap around the rooms basically. So that's the gist of the conveyor system. Now I want to build the other one, make sure we get them both running before filling all the blocks. So to build the other one, we want to go over here and take this redstone into a block, go over to the side with a torch, and then up here with a torch, and some redstone here. This is going to go into the pistons for the other walls and the floor of the room. Yes. So the floor of the room is right at this height, so we need the pistons right below that because the floor of the room is going to cycle over into these pistons, go up, be this wall of the room, and then it's also going to come down over here and then get pushed back this way. So you can see we have like the full room if we were to fill in these conveyors all the way. So with this, we just put the redstone down, 8 pistons across, we go up 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go there. Make sure this can push. Good, good. Okay, that can push. Then we're going to add the observers like we did with the other part. So just do basically the same thing. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put redstone all over that. Bop, 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 bop. So this line of blocks gets pushed up. It's going to activate this. We'll go over here to the side of the room. Right down there is where they need to go down. Also 8 across. With the gaps between like here and here. We're going to put observer here. Do this. Put some redstone on top of there. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom. Go down, and then here's where the last piston's going to go. Basically, to push the chain of blocks back to the beginning. So we just need 8 pistons here now. And then we can do these with an observer as well. So we'll just do something like this. So that is activating those. So there we go. And if we give this a quick little pulse, you'll see they're swapping around now. We can hit the button even. And we should see all of the blocks swapping in a circle that we've put down so far. So this chain is going up, over, down, and then left. Very good. And then this one is also going up, down, over, and then right. So this one is working well, and so is the other one. Perfect. So now we need to just add in a few other details, like the mechanisms that will stop and start the swapping. So if you got everything working great up until this point, then you can pretty much go ahead and fill in the rest of the chain of blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so you can see I've got one of the conveyors filled in all the way, and I've put the bottom segment here with stone so we can differentiate it from the iron. And you can go ahead and put the cauldron in the corner here now and fill it up with water. So I have this as stone so we can kind of tell where we want the starting room to be. So I'm going to put the other walls as stone here, but you can kind of tell which walls are going to be controlled by which conveyor now. So the conveyor that rotates around this way is going to control the left wall, the floor, and the right wall, and then the conveyor that rotates this way, so up, over, and then down, is going to control like the front wall, the back wall, and then the ceiling. So I'm going to swap these with stone and fill this in all the way, except for on this part here. This is where we're going to put the iron trap doors, or wood trap doors, or you could use other blocks, but you know, this will work out really nicely because you want to put it against the block. And as it's swapping upwards, it's going to go against the redstone blocks here, and it's going to open the trapdoors up, and they'll stay updated, or they'll stay open like that unless they're updated with redstone. So that's a really nice thing for making the door openings for the rooms. But yeah, let me fill in the rest of the blocks here, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so you can see I've got the conveyors filled out now. So we have iron on the outsides of the room, and the room that's rotated in right now is pretty much all stone. And if we were to start the swapping, you'll see it's starting to swap around. The next thing we need to implement is the system that detects when the cauldron goes by and stops the room at the correct time so that it's rotated halfway around and is at the next room. So let me try to time this manually here if I can. Oh, went way too early. Okay. Just gonna disconnect that real quick and give it... And one more. So we'll want it to stop with the cauldron right in this corner again. And how we're going to do that is by using some comparators. Okay, so to stop the room at the correct spot, we're going to use some comparators. And the first one goes right here, right before the corner where the cauldron stops. We want the comparator 1 before that. And we need it on a half slab because later on there's going to be pistons next to it, and we don't want any of the redstone here to interact with that. So we're going to use a half slab there. This needs to go into a immovable block. I'm just going to use note blocks, but you could use furnaces, or leaves won't work because it has to be solid to transmit the signal, but like a dispenser, something like that could work also. So this comparator is going to go down into this redstone. Over here we're going to have a repeater on 1 tick, and that's going to go into the redstone here. That turns off the clock. And we also need to grab a redstone torch and go out the side of this block and up over here. Oops, sorry. Up over here. We're going to add a little circuit that will update this this comparator. So we need a piece of redstone dust here, and then a repeater on 4. This is just going to go into a normal piston. So for those of you that didn't know, if we have this, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff for real temporarily to show you guys. If we move this cauldron in front of this comparator, you'll see it reads the signal, but then when we pull it away, the cauldron isn't there anymore, but it still thinks it's on, even though there's nothing back here, until it gets updated. So if we update it, it will recognize that, oh, I'm not powered anymore. But if you see we pull the block away like that, it doesn't get updated. So that's what this circuit here is for, with the piston, just to update it and make sure that it turns off instead of staying on. So that's what all that nonsense there is for. I think that's a bug, but whatever, that's just the workaround right now. So next we're gonna hook up the comparator for the top rotation. So we want the cauldron to be stopping right here. So we're going to take the input from the block right next to it. And this basically is going to go just directly into the signal down at the bottom here. So we want like a half slab there so we don't bud this piston. And we can just do something like this. We need a repeater somewhere along these pieces of redstone because the comparator signal is only going to be 3 redstone long. You can put it like there, anywhere over there will not really make a difference as long as it's within 3 of the comparator. And then we just have some slime blocks and then a redstone block. And that's why we have the immovable block here. So when the comparator gets the signal from the cauldron, it's going to put the signal through here and push this down. So we'll hit the button. Helps if I connect the clock back up. Let me make sure there's no holes or anything first, actually. Okay, that seems good. Alright. There we go. So here comes the cauldron. Okay, good. So the cauldron got to this part, read the signal, and then it stops right in the top corner there. So this is where the other door would be. I haven't actually placed it in yet. So we've got some trapdoors. Do that. And then rotate it around again. should get the stone room. So cauldron makes its way down on the right side. It's going to get rotated to the left. Should come along here. Very good. So yeah, stopped right at the right spot for the stone room. So all of that is working all right now. So now you basically have a functioning rotating room. But if you wanted anything extra happen, like some chandelier to pop down or some door to pop out the back, then there's a way to do that as well. And that's what the other redstone going on here is, like this half slabs and this stuff over here. So how to hook that stuff up is pretty simple. You basically take the output from where the comparator you basically take the output from where the cauldron stops at, and this is what we're going to use for a one-tick signal to spit out a redstone block. So we're going to put a comparator here going into a sticky piston with a block on it, and then we have a half slab on the side, one-tick repeater, and this is going to spit out a redstone block when the cauldron stops there. So the redstone block is going to spit out to this spot right here, and then basically we just need to push it back before we rotate the room. So that's what that's going to look like, and then you could hook the redstone from this redstone block in this position up to whatever you wanted. So that would be the input for the stone room. So let me actually just swap that block with a stone block. There we go. And then we just need to hook this piston up to this redstone. So yeah, how we do that is through here. We go underneath the little walkway, and then we actually go up to the level of this redstone block. Make sure to use a movable block from slime blocks here, because this is going to come down. And then we go over to the piston. Just like that. So when we hit this button, it's going to push this piston, removing the redstone block, and this is what's powering whatever transformation or movement of the walls or interior of the room has. So it should go back to its flush wall state before the room rotates, which is vital to it actually rotating. Because if you have like the wall pulled away and you just have an opening here, when the conveyors start to go around, it's not going to be able to keep pushing, because this will get some blocks pushed down, and then it's just going to fill this spot in, and everything will get like out of sync. So you need to make sure that everything will go back to the flush wall state before it starts rotating. And if you need to, then you could just add more delay here if you have something in the room that transforms and takes a while. But as long as it gets done before the conveyors start moving, then you should not have a problem. So then we can hook up the top one just like we did the bottom. So we'll take a comparator into sticky piston over here, and this with the block on it, and then we're going to have a dust here into a sticky piston with a redstone block. That's where it's going to get moved to, so we'll have the output be here, and then we'll have a normal piston push the block back from there. So push it back to there. So then we just need to hook the redstone here up to that block up there. So we can do... Okay, so this is what I did. We just have the redstone come up with like one of these little staircase things. So a half slab here goes up here, and then goes left and right all the way up to the piston. You just need to make sure that it gets there before 15 redstone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it makes it with 2 to spare, and that will shove the redstone block back before the room transforms. And then you would hook this redstone up to whatever you wanted the iron room to transform with. So it cycles the room around. The cauldron is going to come up here. Activated that, which stopped the rotation, and then this should have sent out the redstone block. Okay, so I actually made a mistake over here, guys. You don't want the sticky piston here. You want the sticky piston under this block. And this is just a normal block. So the comparator goes directly into the sticky piston with the block on top, with the repeater out the side into a block, a dust, and then the sticky piston with the redstone block on the side. The sticky piston, I had told you to place it here earlier, but that was incorrect. Sorry about that. That should go right there with the sticky piston facing upwards, and then that'll spit out the redstone block when it rotates around. So yeah, this redstone block will be spit out, and when we hit the button, you'll see it gets pushed back as soon as we hit the button. So that's what we want. The cauldron is going to come down and then left. Sent the signal to stop the clock, and then it spat out the redstone block here, which would hook up to whatever we want the stone room to have. So yeah, there you guys have it. You have a swapping room. Now it's up to you to customize how the walls transform or the aesthetic of the room to however you want. You can change basically whatever you want with the room, so it swaps around and changes into whatever you want. You can get really creative with it. Over here I have a finished one I can show you guys real quick, which transforms from a library into a armory. So this is basically what we have over there, but with some extra stuff added on to make everything transform. So you can get pretty creative with these, and the end result is pretty sweet, I think. So this one has a bunch of extra redstone that happens after the transformation. So you'll see we took the power from here, went into a chandelier, went over into a fireplace, and then some chairs down at the bottom, and then when we take the power from here, this goes over into a bunch of delay for the storage to open up on both sides, and then the door out the back here. So not anything super complex going on, but when it's all happening together in sequence, then it really looks like something really crazy is going on. But yeah. But yeah, hope you guys could follow the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. If you want the schematic or the download for the structure block for the transforming room, I will have the link to the download to that in the description again. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys can build your own transforming rooms now. Hopefully I did an okay job. Let me know if you guys had a hard time following any parts of the tutorial. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd appreciate any feedback, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.